Today we're going to be working on this awesome plum crazy purple Dodge Challenger. It's going to be a new channel I'm starting up. It's going to be called Everyday Auto Glass. Where I'm going to try to do one job every day and record it on my GoPro. First thing we're going to do is prep our glass, some glass cleaner, remove the stickers, made in China. Alright. And we'll flip it over and do the other side. Time for a new razor blade. It's getting a little bit dull here. Alright. So once we get our glass nice and clean, we'll inspect it thoroughly, make sure it's not scratched or chipped anywhere, make sure the molding is good and straight. And then we can start on the car. Glass looks good. Okay. Let's inside and take apart our mirror here. Slide the seat back a little bit. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'll try to adjust a little bit. This is T20 Torx. I use this equalizer mirror tool. It's got everything all in one on it. Take just about any kind of mirror off. And if you look up here in the corner, it's got some sort of satellite radio antenna or something like that, so I want to be careful to remove that so we don't damage it while we're doing our cutout. What I usually do with these, get a nice fresh razor blade, try to remove that as cleanly as possible. As you can see, it's a beautiful day out here. We're at the Orlando Convention Center. There's some sort of surf convention or something going on. Up in here with our razor real tight. Best we can. And you see most of our glue is still intact, so we'll just tuck this over here for now, out of the way. Let's see this Hemi. Ooh, yeah. That 392, son. Alright. It's going to be a Dodge, so they're usually 15mm on the wipers. And inside the cowl panels, just like the Dodge Charger, pretty much. Will it fit? No, it won't. I'm going old school here. set these on top of my van so they don't get scratched up or damaged too much. As you can see, these just pop out all the way across here. And there's some that hide under these little pieces here. These little foam pieces. See, we got some clips here on the fender, and these little hooks aren't even connected. And there's clips here as well. We'll just remove these clips in the corner very carefully because they're small. Okay. There's one. And two. Comes off just like that. So there. And as you can see, that's really the hardest part of this entire installation. And it's not very hard at all. It's still cut out. There's a couple different ways you can do this. I'm going to use a cold knife and an extractor today. Which, as long as you know what you're doing, is one of the quicker ways to get it done. Not that I'm in any hurry. So carefully slide this under here. Put it into the urethane. And we'll drop this down a little bit. We head it up like that so we didn't scratch the fender here. Time going around corners because if it's square you could slip out and scratch the paint, and if you're not careful and watch this is actually metal here, and this will come up and hit the top of the pinch weld, as you can see. Well, maybe you can't see right up here, so just be careful. Again, being careful in the corners. As we go here, we'll go and raise our knife up a little bit just to clear the fender. And be very careful here. I don't recommend doing this. I recommend stopping and just doing the rest of the extractor, but I like to get as low as I can. Alright, and our glass is loose, so we're just going to cut the bottom. Spray some water on the glass. I'm trying to get very much water on the dash because sometimes here in the Florida sun it'll dry on the dash, little white spots. But I always use filtered water I use actually Zephyr Hills spring water. Alright. Always keep this pressed up against the glass. That way you don't scratch your A-pillar moldings inside or the dash or any of that stuff. You can feel the urethane cut. You don't want to push further than you have to because you can damage the body of the vehicle. Things you just want to take your time. Alright, the bottom is out. It's always important to stay organized and put tools away as you go. Once you start leaving tools in customers' cars, you start to appreciate your investment a little more. Okay. This little box of white balls drives me crazy all day long. Speaking of, we want to dry that water off the dash before the sun does. So as you can see, we didn't do any damage to the vehicle, which is a good thing. Move the underlay molding. Now we can trim back our urethane. I use the BTB tool. If you don't have this tool, get this tool. Because if you're using a long knife to do this, you're doing it wrong. Some guys are really good with long knives, but most guys are not. And you just end up scratching the vehicle. As you can see, this glass has been done before, and somebody has scratched it with the extractor. And it's had to use a primer. Usually these big globs of urethane in the corner are a good indication that it's been done before. I like to use this big flat scraper on the bottom. So there. Somebody used a whole lot of glue on this car. there it is. Just make sure that's nice and sealed up. On the other side. Spots here where I got a little deep with the BTB that will cover up. And this one I'll set from the door. Set one here on the side, one there in the middle. If you guys ever watch Alfredo's Auto Glass, you've seen him do this before. I'm a big fan of his show. If you guys haven't checked him out, head on over to his channel. It's Alfredo's Auto Glass. I'll put a link in the description. It's got some really good information over there. I learned a lot from watching his videos. Alright, now that I've got my hands dry out a little bit, passenger side. I always like to stand up in the door when I run my urethane. Makes it nice and easy to reach everything. Go ahead and make sure our seams are nice and sealed up so we don't have any leaks. Bottom here. You can see our seams on the side are perfectly overlapped, so we know those are good. Okay, now we're ready to set. down. Put more tape over so it's even. VIN number. Alright. Do door sets. I'm not a big fan of setting from the fender, but the door set, I don't know, it just works for me. Definitely takes a lot of patience and upper body strength. But a little practice. And then wiper post here. A little bit of a wiggle. Sits under there. Now, before I push these clips in, I just like to make sure they're in the hole. Because if you push them and they're not, you could break them. And of course, we don't want that. So quickly. It's just a matter of popping them in. Put our little corner clips in. Windshields have markings where these need to go, but it's a good practice to try to make a mental note of where they go. Make sure when you torque it down, you hold the wiper in place, because otherwise it'll move on you. Okay. Just like that. Under the hood is done. Outside of the car is done. I love this little tool, by the way. Equalizer did a real good job. But when I got it, I did take off the, comes with little rubber protectors for the hooks, so you don't stab yourself when you're using it. Yeah, I took those off and threw them away. I don't recommend you do that. I recommend you save those. Otherwise you'll be stabbing yourself in the hand all the time, like I do. But this little thing is just great because you don't got to keep track of your screwdrivers everywhere. This down a little bit because we got to put this little radio antenna up here again. I'll hold it from the outside just so I don't push the glass out at all. Put the toll transponder back in place. Everything looks good, everything looks clean, nice and even on both sides. No trash in the car, from me anyway. We'll clean the glass and deliver it to the customer.